So the second part is controlling the position of these pixels. We can, for example, use a set position and make sure that they start from up. Let me increase the time range. Let's say they start from up there and then they animate down. To easily do that, we just have to switch between these. We have to mix between these vectors. So when you have a vector of 0, 0 set to the offset, that means we have not changed anything here. But if we switch to this, this goes up. So if we use a mix vector, mix the two vectors, we can use this value as the mix value. And the great thing about this is that now we can also create a gradient that we can use as a mask. Because we want to control several layers of this effect, let's just use an empty, Shift A, and just use this empty. And let me just scale the display a bit down. So yeah, I want to create a gradient to control the factor. So I'm going to use a gradient, but the coordinates, I want the coordinates to be of this empty. So if I just take a look at the original mesh, which is this, and just take a look at the gradient, you can see the gradient we're getting. If I get the empty and use the location to influence the gradient, for example, if we're using the position coordinates, I can use a vector math and add the location. That way, let me just take a look at, pin this. So now if I move this around, you can see how I'm controlling the gradient. And I need this to be in the center. If I rotate this, you can see it's not affecting the gradient, but if I use the rotate vector, I can use the rotation of the empty to rotate this. And rotate it on the Y, negative 180. Rotate it on the X, maybe on the Y, yeah. You can rotate this as you want, you can move it as you want, but it seems to be going in the negative direction. So let's use, instead of adding, let's subtract. And you can see now we get exactly what we want. If I want this rotated, I can rotate it, though it's going in the opposite direction, but I really care about the up and down direction. So I'm okay with that. But if you want, you can just multiply the rotation with negative value, so maybe -1 to make sure to get the right rotation if that's what you're up to. But this has also flipped our gradient. Yeah, we can use that as the factor here. So you can see we can easily have this build our character. But I think, yeah, I need to invert this gradient. Or let me swap these. Yeah, you can just swap this and you will get the effect we are looking for. I can use a math node here, change it to scale, and scale up this gradient until I match. Yeah, I match my gradient, so you can see what we have. Okay, so I think the way I set up the gradient might be a bit confusing. So in the next lesson, we can take a look at how you can create a different gradient. That might be a bit more simpler.